here advocating for these folks. He was advocating for all Americans. Keep that in mind.
Right.
We want you all to have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view. And listen, when you start to think that you're in this alone, you're not. Remember, all of us are in it together, and we'll get through. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Officials have identified a second victim of a gas leak at a Baileyville mill. Good afternoon, I'm Grace Blanchard. The Belfast City Council has approved a proposal to raise the cost of ambulance services. Plus, new legislation has been introduced in Augusta to address the rise in political threats against lawmakers. Thank you for joining us. We'll have these stories and more coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, happy Thursday afternoon. The radar and satellite is looking rather nice out there at this hour with a good amount of sunshine, a few passing clouds not out of the question, but it will stay quiet out there for the rest of the day. As we do move forward farther down toward the south and west, a little bit of activity with some clouds, maybe a tiny bit of precipitation, but you have to look well down toward the south and west where a little bit of rain is occurring at this hour. Now for us, we'll stay mostly sunny. Again, a few passing clouds later on tonight. Some clouds, perhaps a little bit of fog, but tomorrow we will have clouds entering the picture. And you can see that snow right there. A lot of this will stay to the south and west with high pressure that will be off to the north and east. Now, some gusty winds up to around 15 miles per hour today. That wind will be backing off later on tonight, and the wind won't be much of a problem tomorrow. Maybe a quick gust up to 10 miles per hour or so, but we'll have to wait until Friday evening for the winds to pick up. But for today, mid-30s, lots of sunshine and a northwest wind up to 5 miles per hour. Overnight, 6 degrees, partly cloudy, and that northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. The hourly forecast moving forward, lots of sunshine before it sets. Temperatures in the 30s and then cooling off. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. We'll look forward to that later on. First, the second victim of a gas leak incident at the Woodland Pulp Mill has been identified. A spokesperson for the mill in Baileyville confirmed yesterday that the second employee to succumb to their injuries from the gas leak incident was 26-year-old Alan Hornberger. Hornberger was an employee at the mill. He died Monday morning, and his death was confirmed Wednesday. The spokesperson said in a statement that Hornberger was, quote, a valued member of the mill's technical department where he served as a process engineer. That incident also claimed the life of UMaine student Casey Malcolm. A Blue Hill man was sentenced Tuesday in U.S. District Court in Bangor for lying on a firearm purchase application. According to court records, on June 8, 2023, 22-year-old Caleb Ryan was indicted in Hancock County Superior Court on one count of aggravated trafficking in scheduled drugs. Then on May 5, 2024, Ryan attempted to purchase a firearm from a federally licensed dealer in Ellsworth while he was still under indictment. Ryan filled out a form required by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives and checked no for the question that asked if he was under indictment for a felony or any other crime punishable by more than a year of incarceration. He was able to successfully buy the gun a few days later. Ryan was sentenced to 12 months and 1 day in prison, as well as 3 years of supervised release. A rise in political threats against Maine lawmakers has prompted new legislation to be introduced in Augusta. LD 695 is an act to improve safety in public service. A statement says the number of threats against lawmakers of both parties has tripled over the past 2 years. Senate Majority Leader Teresa Pierce sponsored the bill and says, quote, democracy is at its best when everyday Mainers answer the call to step up and serve their communities in the State House. But all too often in today's political climate, safety concerns present a barrier to public service. It is incumbent upon us, regardless of party or creed, to reject political violence and threats, recommit to respectful debate, uphold American values, and recognize one another as fellow citizens. I am hopeful this bill will provide strong safety measures for those who choose to serve and help Maine's democracy remain strong." End quote. Local people and union members delivered a petition to Senator Susan Collins' Bangor office regarding the firing of civil rights attorneys. The petition claims the firing of the so-called Fair Housing 3 from the Housing and Urban Development staff was direct retaliation for submitting a whistleblower complaint. It says the complaint outlines troubling actions that include a 70% reduction in staff within HUD's Office of Fair Housing that has left the department's civil rights attorneys unable to process even the most urgent cases. The petition also states millions in congressionally mandated grants for community-based fair housing enforcement have been delayed or canceled. According to the petition, it puts veterans, domestic violence survivors, low-wage workers of color, and those with disabilities at risk.
These are our public servants. They work for us. And when they're fired, that means that anybody who stands up for us is at threat. And we think this is simply wrong.
The group says they are asking Senator Collins to hold HUD Secretary Scott Turner accountable and make sure the whistleblowers are rehired. Starting later this year, towns who utilize Belfast ambulance services will be paying more for that service. Our Doug Banks has those details.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
On Tuesday, Belfast City Council unanimously passed a proposal put forth by City Fire Chief Patrick Richards to increase ambulance service rates for the neighboring towns under contract with them for the next 2 years.
It was time to reevaluate and come up with another contract.
The towns of Northport, Belmont, Morrow, Waldo, and Swanville are currently under contract with Belfast for their ambulance services. According to Chief Richards, a base rate was first needed for the new contracts. He says last year's operational budget, divided by last year's total runs, determined its cost per call to be just over $500. That number was then multiplied by the town's call volume. Data provided by Chief Richards shows the total number of EMS calls each town had last year, and what each town is currently paying for the city's resources. Once year one of the city-approved contract goes into effect, these numbers increase significantly. Even more so, by year two, the rate increase coincides with Belfast's rise in emergency calls. In the last decade, Chief Richards says emergency calls increased by 38%. Over 2,500 ambulance calls occurred last year alone. He says the costs of apparatus, equipment, supplies, and demand for staffing have all risen as well.
This new rate will more evenly disperse the cost of the ambulance service to our subscribers, so it won't be the city of Belfast picking up the shortfalls, when it comes to budgetary expenses.
Officials from two of the impacted towns spoke with us over the phone on Wednesday. Waldo Select Board member Tom Wagner says while he understands the rate increases, quote, wages and incomes for the town are not keeping pace, end quote. In Belmont, its fire chief and EMA director, Ron Harford, told me, quote, Belfast does a great service. It costs money to run ambulances. I can understand why it has to go up, end quote. Chief Richards says the new rates will take effect on July 1st. In Waldo County, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, Mainers had the chance to speak directly with policymakers about mental health advocacy. Wednesday, the Consumer Counsel System of Maine held Mental Health Peer Advocate Legislative Education Day at the State House. The public was invited to engage with and educate Maine lawmakers on improving Maine's mental health care system. Since 2016, the event has allowed those who have lived experiences with mental health to influence the laws that impact them directly.
It's a good reminder for all of us as the relevance of peer support and also people representing the communities that we seek to serve in mental health. Those are people who really represent the cause. They really understand in a different way what it's like to walk in the shoes of someone who struggles or has mental health challenges.
Outreach coordinator for CCSM, Simone Moline, told us the event is a learning opportunity for both parties. They hope to get lawmakers informed about Mainers' concerns, but they also want to familiarize advocates with the system so that they can make a difference themselves. Stover agrees everyone needs to dig deeper into the issue.
We need to be more cognizant and aware of the needs of people with mental health challenges, beyond the funding, beyond reimbursement, really to understand the emotional, psychological, physiological challenges that they face every single day.
Maine gubernatorial candidate Troy Jackson met with voters in Orono last night. Jackson headlined a town hall hosted by the University of Maine Graduate Workers Union, speaking with past and present students, graduates, and community members. Attendees presented questions and concerns centering around workers' rights, affordability in Maine, access to health care, Wabanaki sovereignty, and more. Jackson says his campaign focuses largely around working-class Mainers.
Yeah, well, Maine is definitely a low-wage state. People get by, and people need assistance. They need help. They need somebody to fight for them, and that's something that I understand very well. And that's why I'm running for governor, because I think that too often they're getting left behind.
We need to send people up in government that really represent us and that we can build with and who are also accountable to us.
Jackson will face fellow gubernatorial hopeful and Republican Bobby Charles in a debate in Auburn on February 25th. We did attempt to reach Charles for comment but heard no immediate response. Charles will host a town hall in Skowhegan this afternoon. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, legislation is being advanced that supporters say will protect access to critical vaccines in Maine. We'll be right back.
See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid.
Finish this bucket on your own.
Enjoy your new car.
Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Lease an all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE for $239 a month, or get 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Don't cry, don't whine. Get yours where I got mine. At BB's Tattoo Company, 262 Moosehead Trail, Newport.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
He was released from prison. He needed a car to sort of get back on his feet.
Taken for a ride by her ex-con boyfriend?
Your car, but it was in her name. You want to tell me why it was in her name?
Before I got out, she said we was going to be together and we needed a family car.
But now the love is gone.
I got so fed up with all the tickets, the late payments, and he sent you a vulgar text.
She did send me a vulgar.
Excuse me, she's talking to me.
Next Judge Judy.
Thursday at 5 on ABC 7.
See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid.
Finish this bucket on your own.
Enjoy your new car.
Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Lease a Hyundai Elantra SE for $189 a month, or get 3.99% APR for 60 months. Hurry in.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back in, everyone. The inaugural meeting of President Trump's Board of Peace convening today to provide a status check on the Gaza peace plan. Some members have upped their pledge to $7 billion, while others are pledging personnel to help rebuild. But overshadowing all the talk of peace is the ominous drumbeat of war. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
President Trump launching his Board of Peace in Washington Thursday with dozens of countries focused on rebuilding Gaza after its war with Israel.
An easy word to say, but a hard word to produce: peace.
The total cost to rebuild could reach $70 billion. Members are also expected to commit thousands of military members for a stabilization force.
Gaza must not get stuck in a no man's land between peace and war.
Some of the U.S.'s closest allies, including France and Germany, have not joined the board and instead renewed their support for the United Nations.
We are hearing the chattering class criticizing the structure of the board, that it's unconventional, that it's unprecedented. Again, the old ways were not working.
But while today's meeting focuses on ending one war, another may be brewing. It comes as the president has ordered a buildup of military assets in the Middle East to pressure Iran to give up its nuclear program. Iran, meanwhile, is holding military drills with Russia.
Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
When lawmakers return from recess next week, Congressman Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie plan to force a vote that would require Trump to get congressional approval for an attack on Iran. The assets now in place make it possible for an attack as early as this weekend. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
National Institutes of Health Director Jay Bhattacharya will take on an additional role. Bhattacharya will temporarily serve as the acting director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, according to an administrative official. He will be replacing Health and Human Services Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill, who was appointed as CDC acting director in August 2025, but was dismissed by HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. last week. The transition is the third shift for the CDC leader under President Trump's second term. Former CDC director and Trump appointee Susan Monterez was fired in August after just 29 days on the job, after she says she refused to approve new childhood vaccine guidance. Trump administration officials say they plan to find a permanent director for the agency, but that will require Senate confirmation. Bhattacharya, a physician and health economist, will be managing his roles at the NIH and CDC simultaneously. A stunning development inside the British royal family. Former Prince Andrew under arrest, accused of misconduct in a public office. Here is ABC's Maggie Rulli.
Former Prince Andrew under arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office in an unprecedented move against a member of the royal family. Law enforcement launching a coordinated operation on King Charles's private estate in Sandringham, where Andrew has been living in effective exile. Police searching properties belonging to the king as part of the investigation. The king responding in a statement, saying in part, what now follows is the full, fair, and proper process by which this issue is investigated in the appropriate manner by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I have said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. The Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate, saying they support the King's statement. The arrest reportedly linked to emails released by the U.S. Department of Justice as part of the Epstein files, showing Andrew forwarding emails to Jeffrey Epstein while serving as the UK trade envoy. The emails, some dated in 2010, years after Epstein's conviction for soliciting sex from a minor, show Andrew forwarding British government files from his trips to places like Hong Kong and Vietnam. Andrew has always vigorously denied any wrongdoing. But these pictures of the former prince released by the DOJ further fueling more controversy, showing him crouching over a young woman, her face redacted. The date and context of the photos are unclear. Authorities say this latest development is not believed to be connected to Epstein's crimes. Despite the news, we've seen both the Queen and King out on engagements today. But when asked about his brother's arrest, the King said nothing. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, London.
Shifting gears, if you are interested in a chance to join the state's lucrative Elver industry, you need to apply soon. The deadline is 4:30 p.m. this Friday, February 20th, which is tomorrow. 20 Maine residents will get a chance to enter the lottery for an Elver license for the upcoming season that starts at noon on March 22nd. The lottery was established by the legislature in 2017. They also set a cap of 425 state-issued licenses. The 20 that are available are the result of licenses that were not renewed in 2024 and 2025. Each new license holder will get a 4-pound quota. The Elvers can be worth thousands of dollars per pound. You can enter the lottery online at maine.gov/Elver Lottery. Legislation is being advanced that supporters say will protect access to critical vaccines in Maine. Senate President Maddie Daughtry sponsored LD 2146, which she says is a direct response to instability in federal vaccine policy over the last year. According to a statement, the bill allows the Maine Vaccine Board to seek funding through the state budget process to uphold Maine's commitment to vaccination access. It also clarifies malpractice liability protections for pharmacists administering vaccines. Daughtry says, quote, "For Maine families, vaccines are about keeping our kids healthy, protecting our older neighbors, and ensuring communities can thrive. This bill provides stability and clarity so that political uncertainty at the federal level does not disrupt life-saving care here at home." After the break, new research shows prescriptions for popular weight loss drugs are on the rise for new moms. Don't go away.
Tired of worrying whether your credit will hold you back from getting a car? At Down East Credit Union, we believe everyone deserves reliable transportation, even with less than perfect credit. Let us guide you every step of the way. If your credit score is under 670 or you've had setbacks like bankruptcy or repossession, that doesn't mean you're out of options. We'll help you get pre-approved, guide you through car shopping, and work with you on a plan to rebuild your credit. Reach out to Down East Credit Union today. Let's get you on the road confidently.
No. I'm in my own head.
What the heck are you talking about?
I think I got away with something that I shouldn't have. See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid...
Finish that bucket on your own. Practice makes perfect.
Enjoy your new car.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Lease an all-wheel drive Hyundai Santa Fe SE for $319 a month or get 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
A sharp pain in his chest. He knew it was his heart, but 2 hours from the big city hospital could tragically mean the end. But it wasn't. Thanks to Senator Susan Collins' tireless fight for Maine's rural hospitals. Because of Senator Collins' work, his local hospital had recently received up-to-date diagnostic equipment and upgraded facilities, all paid for with new federal funding. Lives are being saved. Call and thank our Senator Susan Collins for delivering this lifeline for Maine.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
The storm came through with 120-mile-an-hour winds through our neighborhood. My daughter had to evacuate to our house while we were out of town. Sure enough, power goes out. When the generator kicked back on, it, of course, powered the Spectrum modem. She didn't lose service, and we didn't lose connectivity with her through the entire storm. We both breathed a sigh of relief. To have her feel safe and us feel reassured that she was okay was priceless.
Real customers, real reliability. To get the most reliable internet, visit spectrum.com/stay-connected.
Welcome back. Prescriptions for popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy are on the rise for new moms, new research reports. With more, here's ABC News' Michelle Franzen.
Any woman who's had a baby knows how difficult it can be to shed pounds and get back to pre-baby weight. Perhaps that's why Danish researchers found a 5-fold increase in prescriptions for GLP-1 weight loss medications like Wegovy for women who had delivered a baby in the past 6 months. GLP-1s are not recommended for use during pregnancy, and there is limited safety data for their use during the postpartum period. Experts simply don't know what kind of impact they have on breastfeeding, hormones, or long-term health risks in mom and baby. If you're thinking about using GLP-1 after having a baby, talk with your doctor first, especially if you're breastfeeding. They can help you sort through safety questions and discuss other steps to help you stay healthy. With this Medical Minute, I'm Michelle Franzen.
Medical Minute. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
You come to a credit union to work because you actually like helping people.
You get to be a part of really life-changing moments.
It builds a really rewarding professional career.
And that's why I like credit unions.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call T.C. Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
From pop music legends Cyndi Lauper and Broadway's Harvey Fierstein, Kinky Boots, the Tony and Grammy-winning feel-good best musical about seizing your destiny and being who you want to be. Be inspired by the Broadway show that has captured hearts around the world. Kinky Boots, March 3rd, Cross Insurance Center. On sale at Ticketmaster.com.
Good luck, Herman, and all the area basketball teams in the tournament from All That's Metal. Best wishes, Belfast, and all the area teams in the tournament from Colburn Shoe, America's oldest shoe store. Katahdin Federal Credit Union wants to wish the very best to all the teams in the tournament.
You couldn't ask for a better group of people when you're working at a credit union.
When I first started out, everyone was super welcoming.
There's a lot of focus with the community.
It builds a really rewarding professional career. It's just a wonderful place to work.
Thanks for sticking with us. Let's turn things over to Devin Biggs, who has your full forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. The advisories have been allowed to expire. They have not reissued any at this moment in time. As we check out the wave heights, they're still a tiny bit active at around 3 to 4 feet, but they're starting to go down further off towards the north and east, and that is why they have allowed the small crab advisory to expire at this moment in time. Further off towards the east, still a little bit active at around 3 to 8 feet at this moment in time as well. Meanwhile, lots of sunshine out there, so we're looking pretty good. And we will stay dry for the rest of the day, filled with a lot of sunshine and a few passing clouds. So let's zoom things out right now. Again, a little bit of a boundary right there causing some clouds, maybe a tiny bit of snow to develop, some more rain being noted across the eastern parts of the U.S. located there. But meanwhile, for us, Futurecast showing a lot of sunshine, a few passing clouds for the rest of the afternoon. Some clouds, maybe a little bit of fog developing overnight, but we'll have sunshine to start for your Friday, and that will transition to clouds throughout Friday afternoon. Some of those clouds having a difficult time moving in thanks to high pressure, and that will be the same case for the precipitation Friday night, and also in the parts of your Saturday. The high pressure center will keep a lot of the precipitation away, and will be dry as we head towards your Saturday. So the precipitation will look like this. Hardly anything further off towards the north, maybe a small amount as you head towards Bangor over to Machias, and then further off towards the south and west, 1 to 3 inches of snow will be possible there. Well, your forecast coming up for today, okay, mid-30s under a mostly sunny sky, and that northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Overnight, 6 degrees under a partly cloudy sky, northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Friday, mid-30s, mostly cloudy, and that northeast wind at about 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Will be mostly sunny for your Saturday, with highs in the low 30s, with mid-30s coming up for your Sunday under a partly cloudy sky. Snow chances for your Monday, highs in the low 30s.
All right, thank you so much, Devin. While students have the week off from school, at the Windy Ridge Farm in Troy, class was very much in session. The lessons, however, came with hooves, snouts, and a whole lot of hay. Our Alex Schley takes us to the barnyard, where kids were invited to trade in their books for feed buckets and get a hands-on education.
Goats and other goats and sheep, and they also got pigs, and he just took the water and he goes, arr!
Wednesday, the Ashbury family opened their Troy farm to the public, inviting families to step inside the pens and experience farm life up close.
And it's a good way for kids to come see the animals, see what it's kind of like to have animals.
In addition to getting to meet all the animals.
He likes doing this. Oh, he likes me.
Sydney Ashbury, who runs the farm with her parents, says they use the tour as an opportunity to educate kids about everything from understanding animal care to learning about how life on a farm really works.
Anywhere between an hour to 2 hours for doing chores. And then I just check anyone throughout the day. If anyone needs cleaning, I clean their pen. And then night chores, which is about the same, between 1 to 2 hours.
She says they also talk to kids about where food comes from, bridging the gap between the barn and the dinner table. If you missed Wednesday's event, don't have a cow. The farm is hosting similar events Friday and Saturday. They're also open throughout the week, offering farm fresh products and even animals for sale.
Whenever we have baby bunnies, we sell them. They're ready to go at 8 weeks. We sell bacon and pork, like we do have in whole pigs. And we sell beef. We do have milk, and we got eggs.
So whether you're looking for a little hands-on learning or just to stock up on local goods, check out Windy Ridge Farm. In Troy, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, that's all for ABC7 News at Noon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Grace Blanchard. We'll see you this evening on ABC7 News at 6.
Many people living in Maine still face barriers to reliable internet access. TechHelpForMe.org